And last but not least is lean into your suffering. Bring it on. You know, it's like I make my students say, my suffering is sacred, right?
One of Nietzsche's claims was that most of what passes for morality is nothing but cowardice. You know, I'd never cheat on my wife. It's like, is there anybody asking you to that you actually find attractive? Or are there dozens of people asking you to that you find attractive? It's like, well, I would never cheat. It's like, no, you just don't have the opportunity.
I am built to become, and I am built to progress down the pipe. And I'm a fucking warrior at it. And if a warrior doesn't have a war, they don't have a purpose. And if you don't have a purpose, you're gonna lose and you're gonna be miserable your entire life.
So there's an intensity there, but having so much pressure and so much at stake, when it goes away, it's definitely leaves a hollow, empty space inside.
And I understand as a guy that was looking for conversations, it's fortunate that I fell upon School of Life and Jordan Peterson conversations with you, as opposed to that community, because both of them would have given me the same sort of influence, the same kind of satisfaction, but long-term would have given me incredibly different outcomes.
Am I going to live like everybody else? Am I going to do what everybody else does? Am I going to have what everybody else has? Or am I going to become the best that I can be? And that's your fucking choice. And there is no other choice, by the way. You don't get to be in the middle. It's either you did or you fucking didn't. And that's it.
And so I remember I was like, I'll go with you, dude. And it's a tiny act where that sacrifice gains respect from the whole group because that micro benefits everybody else for not having to go through it. And so when you are in a new organization, this is the operation for respect. You sacrifice yourself in a way that benefits the whole, in a way that is visible. You know,
and it's not about money, because the money's going to be in charity and people going to, and it's just about doing something good. And that, from that perspective, that could be, I used to like feeling like I'm doing something good for somebody more than myself.
Now here's the question, leaders, so that this doesn't become a therapy session, but a helpful session. What are you doing that is limiting the people around you because you have put an expectation on yourself that you need to be the best person in the room? Right. That's the question.
Every day you have to do this because why? When you stop doing it, you don't just maintain it. If you stop shooting a gun, you're not gonna be a great shot if you pick a gun up a year from now. The only way to keep from getting rusty is to constantly oil that motherfucking machine. The machine is this. You gotta keep challenging it every day.
Generally, what I did with them was get them to take more days off. They couldn't work shorter days, but they could plan 4-day weekends 2 months in advance. And they could do that every 2 months. And inevitably, if they did that, the number of billable hours they produced went up, not down. So they maybe doubled their vacation time and increased their productivity.
And I definitely wasn't a praying guy, but one day I was crying and I was literally breaking down, and I said, I prayed, I said, God, if you help me out of this, I'll spend the rest of my life helping people never, ever, ever have this pain.
What are your non-negotiables in your life in terms of habits, routines, disciplines?
I wake up early and I work out every day. That's kind of those are the minimum requirements in my life.
They don't want misogyny, they don't want abuse, they don't want all those awful things that come with it. They don't want people that have a genuine disdain for women. But traditionally, masculinity was always like having a respect for women, having a respect for your mother, having respect, being a protector and a provider.
Yes.
And what's a good day, if not to string along a few good moments? And what's a good week, if not to string along a few days that have some good moments in them? And what's a good month, a good year, a good life? It's about those moments.
everyone can get motivated for a moment. It's just like people feel motivated, but like motivation is incredibly ephemeral, right? It vanishes. And that's why creating the conditions that make failure less likely is so important, because if we can make successful actions the most likely actions, success becomes the most likely outcome.
It's like the very thing that made you special could you in the real world.
The real world, guys like that go to prison. They don't exist in the real world. They gotta take them out of there.
I always train 100%. I make the training as a game, I don't care. I go full. And if I don't feel good, I need to make some extras. If I feel that the training wasn't like enough, let's do something else. Let's do some shots. Let's do some crosses to someone. Let's do something that can make me go out of training and feeling like I'm tired.
I'm fat and I'm insecure. You have to face that in that dark room. In that dark room is who you are. But in that dark room is where you have to create another human being that walks out of that dark room to face who you are. That's the only way you're gonna get over all those things.
I was such a pussy. I would call the Comedy Works in Denver every week, and every week I'd cancel. Joey Diaz, you have a 3-minute spot. Oh, I don't feel good. And then my ex-wife, God bless her, as much as I hate her, she heard me on the phone and she had her mother to babysit. And she drove me down and I got on stage. I remember getting off that stage going, how am I gonna do this?
Because what you're looking for, you're looking for improvement, but you're looking for sustainable improvement. And so if you push yourself too hard, you destroy the sustainability across time. And you want that sustainability there. So you can't push yourself any farther than you're capable of going in the long run.
But a lot of it is on you as an individual or your smaller element, group of guys. And that's how you gotta stay in shape. You do not want to be the guy that, can't carry his weight. That's just, you'll get kicked out.
So that I accept that. My concern is that thinking, the ability to think, is the sacrifice here. And that's way more damaging than remembering phone numbers or remembering the Iliad.
Because as soon as you do that, you agree to adopt wholesale all of the views of the group. And as soon as you begin to deviate, that's seen as a lack of commitment by your side and a chink in your armor by the other side. So it doesn't allow you to be a person. It doesn't allow you to fit into the very unique shape that your life is supposed to take.
I think it's just what you're willing to give up in order to maintain something. And so if I have a relationship and I have somebody that I love a lot, then I'm willing to give up everything, including my life, in order to maintain that relationship. And so, or for that person, or for that idea, for freedom, for the country. If you love something a lot, you're willing to give up everything for it.
And I tell people, whatever decision you make, have realistic expectations. You're probably not going to have some cinematic moment of forgiveness. You may very well get a moment of anger. You could potentially get a moment of indifference. You may have a moment of tremendous guilt and grief of how has it come to this? It's always going to be unpleasant.
You have to know who you can be at certain times of your life. No one knows who they are. Because if you knew who you were right now, you'd be really limited. Because life is about change. You're gonna be.
And you have to first be uncomfortable with how you feel about yourself. With that voice that a lot of us like to run away from, we all have it. We all have that voice that say, hey man, you're kind of wimping out right now. You're kind of being a little punk right now. But a lot of us say, okay, that's okay. It's okay to tell these little white lies to ourselves. So we first have to face the real you.
Every time I verbalized pain or grief or struggle, surrounded by people willing to help out, why not talk about it? What's the potential downside, if you look at it purely from a physical perspective, was me suffering for a few more hours because I'm an idiot.
Nobody tried to prove they were right. They put forward their points, but they were like, here's a way of looking at that. Assess it. And they were also doing it genuinely. It's like, this is what I've concluded about, say, this story. And I'm going to make a case for it, but I'd like to hear what you have to say, because maybe you can change it. You can.
He had all the trappings. He had everything. He's like, I like it better like this, like backpack.
And maybe the key word there was trappings. Yeah. Maybe he somehow built all these things around him that ended up making him feel trapped.
And then when I got my chance, I always said, if they ever give me a chance, they're never going to take me off the field. Because I had learned through college that I needed to be the most competitive. I had to be the most urgent. I had to be like a coach on the field.
But then you get someone who has all the things, and that's how you get a Michael Jordan. You get someone who has physical talent, genetic gifts, the mind for it, discipline, consistent work ethic, and then you get greatness.
Unspoken expectations are premeditated resentments. Like, why didn't you do this thing that I didn't tell you to do?
Yeah, probably not deliberately, because I think a lot of people do it not on purpose.
Of course, but it's I unconscious, premeditated resentment. Yeah. The investment that you are making will be a resentment in future that you aren't aware is about to come about.
Yeah. I think it's basically human beings like to discover things. I think it's good for us to go to Mars just for curiosity and so on, but it's not, we don't need to do that to survive. But ultimately, if we want to expand intelligence, we've got to go beyond Earth.
That's just how we think, the competitive. We don't want nobody to think what we are. We wanted them to have a little bit of figuring out process of what we are.
I go up there and God looks at me and he shows me my chart. And my chart on there says you were supposed to be a Navy SEAL. You're supposed to weigh 185 pounds. You're supposed to be one of the smartest people on the planet, this, all this. You see this. And now you're in heaven, you made it to heaven, but you're like, God, I was supposed to live that life.
I got in it for street. You know what I mean? I was thinking about the street. I wanted to be able to defend myself in any situation. But when I met John and then the UFC, started hearing about the UFC, then I started thinking, you know what, there's a career. Maybe I can make something out of this. Well, what else am I going to do? I don't really want to do anything else. I don't.
Like I said, I think you can make mistakes, but if you're bargaining in good faith, the audience will forgive you for your mistakes. So, but you're punished brutally if you're false.
It's not about lives, but it's about livelihoods. Right? You've got people that are relying on you to succeed and win. And again, sure, you get killed in combat. That's obviously the worst thing that can happen. But if you lose your job, or your people lose their jobs. I mean, people kill themselves all the time when they make bad business decisions. It's that much pressure.
I'm gonna take it one step further. If you tell someone to be themselves and they don't like themselves, it's cruel. And this was me for a long time. How can you be yourself if you don't like yourself?
You're never gonna have an environment in today's day and age where you sit for 3 hours with no phones and just look at each other and have a conversation. And that's what we do on a daily basis. And I think that's an incredible opportunity to grow and learn and also to address your own thoughts.
But I think once you have a very clear path to getting what you want, it's like, okay, how do I remove everything that prevents me from getting it? Not in a self-aggrandizing way. I am flawed too, but I'm just saying, it helps.
It is true that more dreams are destroyed by distraction than incompetence.
I think sometimes people do that to almost like save themselves from heartbreak sometimes. You kind of like wreck it yourself.
So it's like making fun of yourself before anyone else can. I gotta run. I gotta run them. Get home now. Run. Click, 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 click.
Dang, right? Yeah. It's hard to keep a girl when you acting like that.
I was too, yeah. I was extreme. It was hard to have a girl. I was too extreme with training.
I'm a big believer in something more powerful than me. I don't know what it is, but I'm not the end all. So I was like, I gotta start doing more. If I'm touching these people's lives, right, maybe I need to go out here and do some more.
I think there's many creative ways to position yourself for victory. I don't like the mindset of being worried, afraid, and staying there constantly instead of trying to find a way to be a differentiator.
It's everything in its proper place is the answer to that. You know, we might think that our life would be easier without fear, let's say. We might say that our life would be easier without anger or pain. But the truth of the matter is that those things are beneficial, even though they can cause great suffering, but they have to be in their proper place.
It happens in business where I see a guy that he's taking care of himself. And you know, it's a smart guy, and he usually thinks he's pretty smart, and he usually thinks he's a little bit smarter than everybody else, and usually thinks that no one else is gonna notice that he's taking care of himself. And everybody sees it. And they dig themselves a grave.
It's a body of work. What feels the most natural? What feels the most authentic? What goes together the best? What paints the picture of what we're trying to do here? It's bigger than just one record, 2 records.
Yeah. You know, look, Tyson Fury is an animal and a warrior, and he got up and he won that fight. And he won by spectacular knockout. But a lot of people would have went night-night that day. A lot of people. Most people.
Believe that you're going to get to a place where you truly believe that nobody cares how you look, and like you love the person that you are regardless of how you actually look. So yeah, just do the right thing and believe that it'll get you to a place that you want to be.
It's like we have determined that feeling bad is bad, but feeling bad is not bad. Feeling bad is a signal so that we need to change. Because if no one feels bad ever, then it means that everyone is doing what they want to do all the time, and that is not how a functioning society works. Sometimes people do stupid shit and need to know and feel bad for it.
I just wanted to be the best, that's just all I wanted to be. I'm the kind of guy, I'd rather fucking win and get no fucking money.
Really? But because the feeling of winning is so much better.
Money. Fuck, I hate losing.
So while it sucks, you have to have a short-term memory when it comes to those things. It's done, it's in the past. What are you doing tomorrow?
You can get on and tell someone, like I'm doing right now, exactly how fucked up you are. That's the goal in life. To put your life on a billboard, on the busiest road, in the busiest highway in the world, and say, this is how fucked up I used to be. Take it or leave it.
But you don't know what burdens the people you're jealous of are carrying. So leave it be. It's not helpful to you to be envious.
I often tell people that we don't know the price that you need to pay to be the people that you admire.
Every time you work out, you're voting for the athlete in you, for the healthy person in you. Every time you move, every time you eat well, every time you don't eat poorly, you are making a vote for the person in you who says health is my identity.
And by the way, if I have to yell at somebody, what does that say? That means if I have to yell at you to get my point across as a leader, I've made like 47 other mistakes. My goal is that I don't even have to say anything. That's my goal as a leader. My goal is I don't have to say a word, and you already know what to do, and you make it happen. And I look at you and give you a thumbs up and say, good job. That's my goal.
I think when their life is not going well and their chosen career is not going well, they concentrate on other things to distract them instead of focusing on the very thing itself. And they think that they're justified in doing that because those things are really important.
Meanwhile, he's a multi-millionaire celebrity inside the very system that he claims to hate. And the second the federal government applies a little bit of pressure, he shows his true colors. And you know what it is? He ain't about that life.
There's definitely a unique value in the future is long and broad, that has a quality all of its own, that is only available to people that are young. Right? That is not nothing.
When I'm not crippled from exercising earlier, I don't know, it's just it becomes your masculinity. You look at yourself, look at some of your friends and your peers and say, wow, do I look like that? I tell my wife all the time, do I look like, be honest, just be honest, I'm your husband, do I look like that? I'm strong with dieting, watching myself, because my appearance is my job now.
But isn't it true though that like those kind of experiences, like experiencing like oddity and uncertainty and just like the weirdness of like moving to a place like LA when you're 17, like when you get through it on the other end, you're a different person. You're a stronger person.
For sure. In the dark room, you face yourself. You realize you want to be better. You realize you don't want to be this weak, insecure person in the world who has all these problems that we all have. We all have. Social media is a great platform to tell you who we want to be, not who we are. So that's where that dark room is.
I'm just talking about when self-optimization becomes self-obsession. So these are two different things. What we don't want is a life that is oriented entirely around me. When we're just thinking about what we want and what we need, that comes at the cost of the things in life that are truly most important and meaningful. So
delay is the way of engaging the frontal lobes instead of reacting direct from your amygdala, which is terror, right? And defensiveness comes out. So when you engage the brain, the thinking brain, then you can be a little less defensive.
And that kind of led me down a pathway of thinking about my faith in a way that I never had when I was a teenager. I never had to when I was a teenager. And it finally just hit me like, there is something deeply profound about this.
To find luck, the best luck, if you have the balls to make failure your friend, those lessons in failure is what separates Elon Musk from the rest of us. Fail, learn, fail, learn, fail, learn, fail, trillionaire.
So you're actually taking the upsetting thing that happened for 5 minutes at work and then supersizing it for 3 hours, in the evening. Where, by the way, of course, you're going to be checked out no matter what's going on around you. You'll be there in body, but not in mind, not in actual presence.
It's stepping back from everything that I identify with and just watching it and realizing that, oh, whatever I am is the watcher, not the story, not the thing that I'm seeing, not the thing that I thought was so important. I'm the watcher that can just watch all that.
You don't know what's in you. Sometimes in life, you have to be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges.
We are fundamentally changed by this, but I will be even better. And I think I almost took that as motivation of, I will give him the best life I possibly can. I will be the best mom I possibly can to him.
You become a bigger, better version of yourself the more you give your time, your efforts, your money, your love away to other people, when it's not just about me, the way that our culture is constantly promoting it that way.
And I remember pulling up that gravel driveway with that host family. And when the brakes, they're like, "Welcome to Australia, mate." I was like, all right, not what I thought, but I can make this work.
But something's gonna happen today. I'm gonna get a phone call or a text or an email that I'm not gonna like. Bring it on. I'm grateful for that too. Because when I lean into that, then I'm gonna be fully alive. That's the moment I'm gonna be fully alive. And that attitude of non-resistance to pain will actually lower the suffering paradoxically as it raises the meaning of life.
And so my childhood was not easy by any means, but I feel like my mother's love was this protective shield that when I look back on it, I think, how do I not have any cuts on me? And how do I not have any scars? And where are my battle wounds? And the beautiful part of that is you realize your mother's love protected you, but then you also realize that maybe your mom took some of those wounds for you.
I know I'm gonna disappoint a few people. Maybe I'm gonna make up a few people, but it is what it is. The life it's completely difficult. We have obstacles in our lives, and I will keep running to fight against the people who don't believe me, and the life is a challenge.
For me and for so many scientists that I know, trying to measure something and having it not work just kind of ticks me off. And I am not going to let the universe in my lab or whatever beat me. And, some people, they, if the thing breaks, it's like, oh man, that didn't work. And a lot of people, well, I'm going to go home. I'm fed up. Nah, it would just kind of make me mad. And I'd put more effort into it. And
I'm a better problem solver. I'm a more, people say resilient person. I'm a more anti-fragile person. I believe that there are so many advantages that I've had having a disability, just completely in my mindset and the way that I approach life, that's the balance. Humor isn't the balance. The balance is, how can I flip the script on this and make it something that's positive?
This guy is in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Other than Trump, probably one of the most hated men in America, if not in the world. And all he's doing is changing the world. From the baby mama drama, the Trump Epstein tweet, 6 months later, he's on a plane with Trump to China. The way that he's tuned out all the noise and built some of the world's greatest companies.
I just think so much of my personal suffering and a lot of our suffering comes from gripping onto our expectations of what this moment should be, or what we, think we should be doing, or what we should be feeling or shouldn't be feeling, and just practicing letting the moment roll off of us knowing that it will change and that it is impermanent.
Have you ever tried to change something about yourself and quit, not because it was hard, but because it was boring? That's actually one of the most common failure points. Not the start, not the hard part, but the middle stretch where you start doing the work, but you just don't really feel any different. You're the same person on the inside, just behaving slightly differently. And every day you have to choose to keep going without any real evidence that it's working out for you.
Within 5 minutes, Gary, of starting a whole person approach to the frozen shoulder, these women are crying in my office. And it's not because I'm the meanest doctor they've ever seen. It's because finally, they feel heard and seen. And it's so hard.
Are you progressing or are you ruminating? I think a clear issue with rumination or overthinking is when 3 things. 1, most of your thoughts aren't new. They're repetitive. They're cycling. 2, most of your thoughts aren't useful. They're not looking at ways you might fix this problem. They're just replaying a certain scenario again and again and again. And 3, the most important part, is that most of them aren't even true. Most of our thoughts that we think aren't even true.
First time he said it to me, it hurt. So then you get off and then you realize you went from the cool guy to the boring guy to the guy that's pursuing a vision. But sometimes the biggest compliment people will ever give you is, I miss the old you. And that's actually a compliment. It's not a negative thing. It's actually a compliment. It's a badge of honor because I don't miss the old guy. I love the new guy.
I won an Emmy for this role. It's done. Like, I should have moved on with my life. But still in the back of my head, it's like, not good enough. You're not good enough. It's embarrassing. You think that was good? Get back up there. Do it again.
Yeah. I was working 130 to 133 hours a week. I was falling asleep at stoplights. I was an asshole to work for. Because everything was about how do I achieve enough to get over the insecurities as a young man that I felt that I wasn't good enough, which is the primary fear we have.
I think a new approach to the nature of reality is really vital. I think we need to begin to understand consciousness better. And what I would wish for the human species is that we understand we are actually all one. Incredibly diverse, full of creativity and differences, but all one.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, I mean, everything in life, the greatest thing that came in this world came through a sacrifice, right? I mean, I believe in Jesus, so that to me shows that if you want anything in life, it has to require sacrifice in some way.
The parting words are, regret is part of the human experience. It's one of the things that makes us human. Everybody has regret, and you have a choice. You can ignore your regrets, or you can wallow in your regrets, or you can confront your regrets. And when we do that in a kind way toward ourselves, it makes us better. We get more out of life. We deepen our relationships. We find a greater sense of meaning, and we don't waste our precious time on this planet.
That is who the fuck I am, okay? I am built to fight that battle. I am built to build. I am built to create. I am built to become, and I am built to progress down the pipe. And I'm a fucking warrior at it. And if a warrior doesn't have a war, they don't have a purpose. And if you don't have a purpose, you're gonna lose and you're gonna be miserable your entire life. You need to develop a little bit of fuck you, okay? And what I mean by that is, oh, that's a test. That's a test. This isn't gonna fucking break me. This fucking beer doesn't have any power over me. This fucking pizza doesn't have any power over me. Fuck that shit. I'm stronger than that. That's what I mean by fuck you.
We will lament, cry, scream, whatever we have to do for 24 hours on something that was a mess up, that was a challenge, that was a failure, if you will. But we spend no more time than 24 hours on celebrating either. We can have the best of the best, win our Super Bowl, whatever that is, have a Grammy moment. 24 hours later, we're back in the focus of what's next.
Because the thing is, like, you will get criticized anyway. If you're scoring goals, you'll get criticized because you're not passing the ball and you're shooting. If you're doing assists, it's because you're passing too much and you're not shooting to score goals. So it's gonna always be like that. People will always make the balance the way they want. They won't balance things. They will put it the way they want the things to be.
And generically high quality with no variation means there's no moats or competitive edge. I think humans who bring competitive edge to this one way or another, just by providing variation, if nothing else, is a useful way to think about problems, right? You start to care a lot more about the taste of that person than you do about the entire organization built to deliver the product.
DUI glasses is a better analogy for this community.
Grasping for the mug here, but it's actually right here.
Yeah.
And if you can just accept the fact that your optics are off, your thinking is off, you cannot trust it.
You could look at it as like, this is a negative or this is a positive. And when you make it a positive, you can see on the quarterback's faces who really enjoys those moments. And you just see there's a poise, a composure, that there's no panic, he's totally in control, and that he feels confident that he can go down the field because of his decisions, his play calls, his accuracy to go win the game.
He had a more open mind and he encouraged different movements. And I'd never experienced that before. I'd never heard a coach say that to me before. And that stuck in my head, and I thought to myself, this guy is thinking outside the box, you know what I mean? That he has a vision that everything works and he encourages every movement, because ultimately there is a time and a place for every single move.
Meanwhile, we're being sold this book of lies that all of the happiness and the fulfillment and the lasting satisfaction that we're seeking is on the other side of the next purchase, the next comfort that is just outside of our reach, the next luxury good, the next premium experience, all of which, of course, promises to fill that hole in our spirit.
Listen, Elon Musk, I think he famously quoted, he said, you get paid in direct proportion to the difficulty of the size of the problems you solve. Has anybody solved bigger problems than Elon Musk?
And you will go in and you will not do well, because that hesitancy, that doubt, that questioning, that not being sure, the going in to not lose as opposed to going in to win, is the same thing, kind of, semantically, but it's vastly different. And so
any setback, I take it very personally, I get upset, but on my deathbed I'll look back and go, that wasn't me.
Yeah.
That was part of the game, and I, just like the sandbox and the 5-year-old with the toy, it's just that important.
And I'm saying to you, when you commit yourself, that means when you are locked in, when you decide that I'm going to make this happen no matter what, the failures, the rejections, the setbacks, no matter what, I'm going to keep going. Things are going to work out for you. Angels will show up and help you out. People will step in for you that you don't even know.
Nothing's going to be able to heal you. They're there so that they can teach you the best tools. And I feel like that's where I really learned that it's never going to go away, that I have to just coexist with this forever, that the pain, the hurt, the heartbreak is never going to go away. It's just going to hopefully become a little more manageable.
But I'm going to die someday. And if that's the case, am I really just living to have 7 figures in my bank account, or a house in Dubai, or 15 Lamborghinis, or 1 million social media followers? Is that really like the best thing I can possibly do with my life? I hope not, because that's incredibly shallow and it doesn't really do anything to contribute to my character or what I contribute to the world or changing culture for other people or helping other people. My soul is pretty much the only thing that I get to hold on to after all of this. And if that's the case, what am I really living for?
And then the scary part was I started to entertain the idea of, yeah, man, may just be how it is now. And that scared me. And then I got angry at that, and I'm still in the midst of some anger with that, which is a bit of that rage thing, which makes me act upon it and go, I'm not conceding, and I don't think anyone really wants to concede that that's just the way it is. And
that's not only impossible, it's actually suboptimal. It's death for what it means to be fully alive. We don't want to suffer, but we must suffer.
And I remember that rock bottom moment. Again, like I said, when you're brought to your knees, it's when you're halfway to praying. It was that moment of total helplessness that I started talking to God, and
And I would challenge them.
not to cry with tears of gratitude for the fact they were in Pentonville and not Auschwitz.
Wow.
Reframe.
Yeah.
Everything's reframable. And that was a powerful lesson for a lot of them.
And I've made every fucking mistake in the world. So the reason that I go so hard is because I know what I'm not. And while people may look at the external reality and think, oh man, he's so smart, he's so gifted, every fucking thing that you see was earned through a mistake or pain or frustration or getting my balls kicked in. And that's what happens when you create tremendous discipline muscle, okay? It gives you a superpower because every single time it gets hard, or even somebody who's conditioned for hard things, there will be a point that fucking breaks them. And I am unbreakable, bro. I am unbreakable at this point in my life.
What's in your tagline? Either stated or unstated. What are you wanting people to take away from you every single day? Going back to accountability. What Chris is wanting his team to take away, and any of our clients and anyone that he hears, that he listens, learns before he leads. What is your tagline? Now, that's a penetrating question on all.
We call this the jagged frontier of AI in our early papers on this, which is it's good at some things, bad at some things you wouldn't expect. Where it's bad, right, writing perfectly in your voice, getting a joke right, like suddenly the demand for your labor is higher there, right, and your value is higher.
Yeah, you can come on this road trip that I'm going on right now, but you're going to have to sit in the back. You can't drive. You can't navigate. In fact, you can't even say a thing because I'm in control.
And then you get to the top of the field and they look around and they go, what the fuck are we running for? What are we doing up here? We have no fucking idea. We just, he started running. And so at the end of the day, a lot of us are cows.
Just feel the emotions without condemning myself, without putting any pressure on myself. Just the ability to feel the raw pain, perhaps, of an emotion, or the joy of an emotion, whatever it might be. And just be the watcher is very liberating. It's extremely liberating.
Yes. This is your moment. This is your time. There's a reason that you're watching me now. You know in your heart of hearts what's in me is also in you. You've got to be in a hungry mode to make it today.
But that's when the other lessons come in of everything is going to coexist with the grief. You could feel joy and feel so much sadness at the exact same time. You can feel support while also feeling guilty.
I mean, for me, I think it's an obvious dance to the both, because you can't jump to the objective right away and go, inshallah, oh, fate'll have it, this too shall pass, I'm fine. No, because then you don't deal with the crisis.
So people actually, they don't suffer so much from sadness. They suffer a lot from fear of sadness. You know, you're trying to avoid sadness, which is what motivates a lot of our behaviors. Most of the reasons we do what we do is because we're afraid of negative emotions.
So if we realize that we star in the movie of our life, that means that by definition, other people can only play one of two roles. At best, they may be a supporting cast. A spouse, significant other, best friend, co-worker, you're close to, what have you. But the vast, vast majority of people in your life are nothing more than film extras in your movie.
That coming from nothing and having that fear of losing it all is a fucking gift. That is a gift. You just don't realize it because it causes you anxiety. But it doesn't actually cause you anxiety. It causes you to go hard. It causes you to keep working. It causes you to keep building and thinking bigger and bigger and bigger. And that is the greatest insurance that you're going to have against losing what it is that you have. Like, there's nothing that can stop someone who has built themselves into somebody that cannot be broken. You can't stop them. You can't stop them. It doesn't matter what storm comes their way. It doesn't matter what tragedy comes their way. It doesn't matter what hardship comes their way. They will continue to wake up and they will do what they can. They will control what they can, and eventually they will overcome. And that should be the goal for every single person listening.
So now what happens is, since there's no finishing line in my life, what do I continue to do? I continue growing and pressing and expanding and learning and pushing and developing and adjusting and changing. And that never stops.
She said, I know God's gonna bless them some way, somehow. And he did. A lot of things happened that I know that I did not cause it to happen. And I'm saying to you, when you commit yourself, I mean, when you are locked in, when you decide that I'm gonna make this happen no matter what, the failures, the rejections, the setbacks, no matter what, I'm gonna keep going.
Losing a child really shows you in the scariest, most real way possible just how quickly life can change and how quickly life can be literally taken away. And I think that really scared me with Teddy. There's so many things in my control that I can do. Preventative measures I can take, ways I can be better.
Man, it's tough duty to win the fair fights. And there's a lot of unfair fights out there. And why do I want to spend my time, if I got 24 hours a day, picking unfair fights when I'm busting my ass to win the fair ones?